of course, DJ Ash Noble here. Welcome back to another stream. We are doing the renovation update part 2. So, for those of you who are may or may not be aware, I did a stream yesterday where I was talking a little bit about an idea that I have for a renovation YouTube series. So, for those of you who aren't aware, very recently I have been really enjoying watching like renovations and things online. So, people that buy old buses, people that buy like old houses and then they do them up and they renovate them and they show you kind of like the footage of them renovating the houses and the buses. I watch a guy called Pete and his bus who kind of renovated a bus into a bar, and then he was kind of renovating a second bus, and then I watch another channel called Six in a Bus, and they've just recently bought like this big tour bus that used to tour like I think it was like musicians and band members to like gigs and stuff, and probably like footballers to football matches, and they're currently in the process of renovating that bus, turning it into a home, that kind of thing. So I have always kind of been interested. I've wanted to do something along them lines myself, but obviously it's not the most easiest thing. I can't just go out there and buy a house and buy a bus. And if I wanted to go out there and buy a bus, I'd need to have a bus driver's license. If I was gonna go out there and buy a house, then obviously I'd be moving into the house myself. And buying a house is very expensive, let alone the cost of renovating it. So I was trying to think, how could we scale this down? How could we do some form of like little renovation, sort of stroke decorating, stroke just doing something that would be doing something that would be nice, that we could document for YouTube. And the thing that sprung to mind was this room that we're sat in right now. So the room that we're sat in right now is currently my studio and my living room for where I live. However, it doesn't really look that good at the moment. I aren't gonna lie to you, it is an absolute pain. It doesn't look good. For starters, I'm not really keen on the colour of the walls. I don't like just I just don't like the room. And I think we could make the room look so much more nicer. We could do some cool things there to the room. However, when we did the video about this yesterday, I was a little bit unsure on whether I'd be allowed to decorate the walls and things like that, because I live in like a supported living place. So sometimes these supported living places are places for you to stay, not places, they're not permanent things, they're only temporary things. So, because I aren't going to probably be here in like 15, 20 years, I was unsure whether I would be allowed to do anything such as, decorating, painting any walls or doing anything like that. So, I was, where we left the stream yesterday was I was going to inquire if we could paint the walls. However, I did say that if we couldn't paint the walls and the worst did come to the worst, then it wouldn't affect the series, because we'd still do renovating just without painting. It wouldn't be as good. But now we are most definitely gonna be doing a good series, because I've got good news. So I inquired regarding the painting, whether we're allowed to paint the walls, etc. Which, in all honesty, I didn't think we'd be allowed personally. I thought maybe that we're not allowed to do that. I inquired to find out that we're actually allowed to renovate, and we're actually allowed to paint the walls, which is, that for me was like, wow. I didn't expect that. So I inquired, and the exact message that I got back is we that I'm allowed to paint the walls, just as long as I don't do them in like a dark or dingy colour. So, for example, if I wanted to paint the walls fully black, that wouldn't be allowed. If I was just going to make the room look dark, then that was not allowed. However, they did say, like, if it was a nice bright colour, or something quite, nice, then they would allow me to decorate the room. So that has really, really lifted my spirits, because with it being a supported place, I really didn't think they were going to allow me to paint the walls, or there'd have been some sort of snag to it, or something that just would have been like it's not worth painting them, or like I say, I just wouldn't have been allowed to do it. So the fact that I am allowed to do it has really lifted my spirits up. I'm like proper buzzed about it, because obviously I want to I want to make this look really nice. So what we're going to do, what is going on? So what we're going to do is we are going to do a renovation series, like a little refurb, like a little decorating series of this room. We're going to turn it into a music studio stroke a chill out room. So one half is going to be for like the studio, the other half is going to be for the chill out area. So like when people come round, it's going to be an area where they can sit down, they can have a mug of coffee and stuff like that. And it's just going to be a really, really nice little area, because for me personally, I'm a big music guy. Watching telly, chilling out, sitting down, reading magazines, just sitting down and having a coffee is not really a big thing for me. I watch YouTube, I'll play video games from time to time, but 9 times out of 10, I'll be sat at the computer, either making the next song, or I'll be on the decks having a mix and having a jam. So I really want to turn the room into a little bit more of a like studio space. I want to really upgrade some of the equipment, like mainly like the worktops and things. I want to get some stuff, like, so when we're streaming, that there's going to be like a really, really good, really good um, sort of like, cameras when we're streaming and stuff, or alternatively maybe set a green screen back up, and just really have this really nice space. We're going to put soundproofing up. We're going to really just kit it out with some cool gadgets and make it into a really make it into a really, really cool little room. Maybe we can do some podcasting in here. I just want to make this like really, really cool room, where I just feel like it's a really good space. I love this room, and it's big enough, but at the moment it does look a little bit like a bomb's hit it. Some of the worktops, like the computer desk, I found this outside. Somebody had dumped it outside of a house, and they didn't want it anymore, and I got it for, I picked it up because it was there, and it was an upgrade to what I currently was using at the time. And then the little unit behind me that has the decks on them, it's starting to warp, it's starting to the wood's starting to crack. It's lost a lot of its weight from having hundreds of vinyl records sat in the shelves. It's just made it too heavy, and it's just started to break the wood. The vinyl records have weighed them down. So yeah, unfortunately, that is unfortunately the situation. So it would be nice, and I just kind of thought, if we're gonna get a few little worktops and things, like a new computer desk, and just do some like really, really cool stuff. I just thought, and if we was obviously allowed to decorate the room, and paint the room, then it would have been really nice to document it into a little bit of a series. But there's going to be a bit of a twist with the series. It's not going to just be your normal average renovation series. So I'm bringing in my good friend the layman. He's going to help me with this renovation series. He's going to help me. But what we're going to do is we're going to do it in the layman and the noble style. So we're going to hopefully add a little bit of like comedy and humour in there, as well as the typical we're renovating a room and stuff like that. But it's going to have that typical like layman and noble banter in there as well, which is going to be really fun. And that layman and noble banter, we do a lot of that on Facebook, and a lot of people like it. So I think we'll be putting the renovation series onto Facebook as well, because we want to attract that audience that kind of know us, for layman and noble as well. And hopefully it'll be a little cool thing. And then once the room is done, it's going to be a really, really, hopefully a really, really nice studio space that I just can't wait to make tunes in. It's going to be soundproofed. We're going to just absolutely do something really, really cool. So I'm really looking forward to it. So keep your eyes peeled for the series. It's going to come sometime after Christmas. I don't know exactly when. There's still a lot of things I need to plan yet. What colours I'm going to paint the walls, where I'm going to buy the desks from, exactly what I'm going to do to the room, and I'm going to draw out some plans of the room, and kind of see where we're going to fit things and stuff like that. I have a TV that I want to put on the wall as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing like where we're going to put that on the wall. That's going to be a really cool thing. And then I'd really like to maybe get one of them like LED strips that you put behind it, so the TV kind of lights up on the wall. I just want to kind of make it look really nice and cool in here, but kind of do it on on like a fairly cheap budget. So I don't mind like if we get the worktops second hand, like if we find them in a second-hand shop, or if we get it cheap online or something. As long as the computer desk looks nice, and we can have a really nice area for the studio, and then we can just get some really nice little like decor to go on the walls and things, whether it be some like light up signs, the soundproofing. We'll put some of the like flyers. I'm going to get some of the rave flyers that I've been fortunate to gig at. We're going to get them framed, and um, we're going to sort of really document and memorize some of these really good bookings that I've had. So that's the score. That's the plan. And then, like I say, we've got this. I said it in yesterday's stream that we've got the little worktop thing. It's like it's got two drawers at the bottom, and then it's got like four different shelves in it. It's a really big bulky thing. I don't mind it, but I think if there was a way that we could possibly get rid of it, it would be nice if we could get rid of it. If I could maybe move it into another room, it wouldn't be too bad. The only other room I could really put it in is the bedroom. And in all fairness, the bedroom is not the best room. It's not the biggest room to really put that into. So I don't know as of yet what we're going to do with it yet, if where we're going to put it. So I'm not sure, but we'll have to see nearing the time. There might be a way that we can maybe still utilise it. I just find it a bit bulky, and I just think personally it's not the best in terms of what it is, and the colour of it's not really that great. And I just think, if there's a way we can maybe modify it up, we could maybe put some LED lights in it or something. It might look a bit more better, but at the moment, it just stores things on it, and I'm not really all that keen on it at the moment. So we'll have to do a little bit of thinking, but we've got all the planning stuff to do for this room and stuff like that, and we've got everything that we're gonna want to do to this room, and hopefully we'll make something good out of it with that typical layman and noble style. So there we go. So one thing, not renovation related, I will just update you on. and you'll hear more about this in the coming weeks. But tomorrow, I am doing a challenge tomorrow. So another thing that I like watching online is people that do food challenges, where you go to like a restaurant, you go to like a cafe, and you take on a food challenge, and you have like so long to finish the meal, and if you finish it inside of like a certain amount of time, you get the meal free, you get a t-shirt, you get a spot on like the wall of fame. However, we're not going to a restaurant to do a food challenge. We are doing a food challenge at home. So myself and the layman, we are doing a food challenge. We're doing a burger challenge, and we're going to make two giant burgers that have about 10 pates in them, and we're going to do this giant food challenge, and we've got half an hour to finish the challenge. So the first one, well, whoever eats the most is the winner, but we both have half an hour to try and eat the whole burger, and see if we can get through the challenge. We've got half an hour. We're only allowed one glass of water, and that's literally it. We can have sauces and things on the burger, but we pretty much have to have the same burger, the same size. I think we can choose what sauce we put in it. So obviously, I don't like things like burger relish. Layman might, so I think he's allowed to put like burger relish in. I will put ketchup in, or he might just put ketchup in as well. I'm not totally sure. But I've wanted to do this for a while. My original plan was I wanted myself and Layman to go to like a restaurant and try a food challenge. The Layman was very adamant that he didn't want to do this, and he was kind of accepting defeat before we'd even attempted to do the food challenge. He just thought it would be a waste of money. His mind was made up that he wouldn't be able to finish one of these food challenges, so he didn't want to do one. He didn't want to entertain one. Whereas I kind of knew that I probably wouldn't be able to finish one of them food challenges, and I more just wanted to do it for the pure fact of to say I've done it, to say one time I attempted a food challenge, because you see them on videos, and don't get me wrong, they look absolutely massive, but I often sit there and I think, what would it be like to take one of these challenges on? What would it be like to have a go? What does it actually, you see that it looks big in the videos, but what does it actually look like in person? What's the food challenge? What's the food look like on, the size? It's going to look so much bigger in person and stuff like that. And I was always intrigued. It was always something I wanted to do, was this food challenge kind of thing. So, and basically that was the score, but he wouldn't do it. So he suggested that we get ingredients, we do a challenge from home ourselves. And I just thought in the end that this is, unless I just go out there and attempt a food challenge myself at a restaurant, this is probably the closest I'm going to get to doing one with the layman. And, if you know the layman, like, if he doesn't want to do something, like, he won't do it. And he is one hard person to please. So, unfortunately, sometimes, or most of the time with the layman, you just have to accept that you've lost the battle, because layman always wins. And, if he doesn't want to do a food challenge in a cafe, he's not going to do one. So, I could try for years, but I'd just be fighting a losing battle. And it might have got to the point where he would maybe just film me doing one, but he wouldn't do one himself. So we're going to do one at home, Layman versus Noble. So we're going to be filming it and stuff like that. So I'll do more updates on it. We're going to film it tomorrow. So tomorrow's the day. I've got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow, preparation. I've got to clean this whole place. Big shout to Lee. So I've got to clean this whole living room, because we're going to make a few adjustments in here to so we can film the challenge and stuff. We're going to have to make some form of little table that we can eat the food off of, and stuff like that. So there's going to be a little bit of change. So watched your last 3 lives, never commented, but thought I'd say hello. Big shout to you, Lee. Big respect to you. If you don't know what we do in these lives, they're basically, it's my lazy way of doing videos. So because I have such a busy life, I'm always hectic, I'm always doing things. I do a lot of updates, but I do them in live streams, because if I do them in videos, then like you've got to edit them and you've got to upload them and you've got to wait for them to upload, and then titles and thumbnails, and whereas when you go live, you automatically go live to your channel, which means people can tune in and watch if they want. However, once the live is finished, it saves on your channel as a video. So if people don't watch it live, they can still go back and watch it, just like it was a video. And it's just my way of basically saying I haven't got enough time to sit there and edit videos all the time, you know. And I do a lot of updates. I announce gigs all the time. I announce loads of different things and talk about loads of different things. And YouTube would just take over my life. So, you know, but it's good. Have you ever used StreamYards so you could have a panel guest? I've used StreamYards in the past. I used it back in the lockdown, but I don't really have guests on the stream. It's just me documenting my music journey, documenting my music career, the gigs I'm playing, the things I'm doing, the tracks I'm making, and that is kind of what the channel is about. It's not about sort of having guests on as such. If I do a podcast in the future, then by all means there'll be scope to have like guests on and stuff. I've got ideas and things I want to do. It's just I work a youth job, and the youth job sounds like it's quite an easy job, but it takes up more time than you think, and you end up doing hours and days that you don't expect to be doing, and you end up just becoming so busy. Like today, for example, I work on a Monday night. We run like a music workshop, but I don't work during the day. It's my day off on a Monday. However, we have to take material and footage of the session, so we have to take pictures at the sessions. So I have to go into work to pick up a media phone. We have like a media phone that we take all of our pictures on. So I end up like going into the office on a day that I'm not working, and the media phone doesn't just get used by me. So it's not like, well, why don't you just keep it on you all the time? Because there's another work colleague that runs other projects, and we use the same phone. And then you could probably say like, well, why don't you just get like two separate phones? But like, that's not down to me. That's down to the boss and the company that I work for, unfortunately, as to whether they have a budget to buy another phone. So at the moment, we have this media phone, and it basically, whenever somebody needs it, they just come to the office and they grab it, and then when they next go back to the office, they just drop it back off. Or, for example, if somebody needed it tomorrow, I would have to take it back in tomorrow. Like it's at home with me now, it's literally here, but I'm not back in the office until Wednesday. So no one that I know of needs it on a Tuesday, so I don't have to take it back. But like on a Monday, I need to pick it up, so I have to go in on a day that I'm not working. And then sometimes that can happen for other things. So what's only supposed to be like a 15-hour part-time job, you end up doing like so much more, and you're doing extra things, and you're working on a night, and then you're doing bits on a weekend sometimes. So sitting down editing YouTube videos, it just isn't always feasible for me. I don't always have the time to do it. They just don't get the chance. So I do these streams just because it's quicker, just because it's easier. A lot of people comment and they go like, "Why are you rambling on?" Because there's only me and somebody else in the stream, or one person will come in and they'll be like, "There's no one here." But what they don't understand is people can watch it when it's not live. So I do it, I talk like it's a video, so for the people that watch it, when it's not live, I could go live and be like, right, we'll wait for some people to join, blah blah blah. But then the people who watch it when it's not live, it's just boring for them. So I try to ramble on, say what I'm gonna say. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, do you know what? It is time consuming. I used to run a gaming channel, and I did videos on there, and I used to edit them. We ran a series, and we did something like 141 episodes of this like role playing series, I edited every episode, and then we did trailers and things for things that were coming up in the role play. And for nearly 2 years, I edited these videos. I did twice a week. I did. So I did one on a Monday, one on a Thursday, I think it was, or Tuesday or Thursday. So every Tuesday night, every Thursday night, I edited an episode that would go out that night. And sometimes these videos were like 43 minutes long, sometimes even longer. So it was absolutely crazy, you know. Um, and then I did some other bits and bobs, other videos and editing and stuff. Took me a long time to edit my latest video. I had I had that many clips. What games what games do I play? Console. So I don't really play games anymore. I only play them now and again. So I have a PS4, but the PS4 is literally it's about had it. It's about broke. I got the PS4 brand new in 2014. So over 10 years ago, just over 10 years ago. I got it for Christmas of 2014, so so it will literally just be about 10 years ago, and I've basically had it ever since. Well, I've kind of had it ever since. So I had it from 2014 up until I think late 2020, and then I sold it to a friend because I wasn't using it. It was just collecting dust. And when I lived at my mum's house, she didn't have internet at the time. We were really struggling, and I didn't really have a need or a point to play it. And my friend wanted it or wanted a PlayStation, so I said, look, I'll sell you it, quite cheap. And I think I saw it, it was still quite good at the time, so I sold him it for 100 quid. Threw some games in with it, controllers, chargers. I think I even threw a headset in it for him at the time. And then he just basically never got the time to go on it himself. And then I moved into my own place from my mum's, and I just thought, you know what, it would be nice just to get a little console back. And he was like, I'd sell you it back, and I'll do you it dirt cheap, and I'll throw the games back in. And I was like, all right, you know what, let's do it. But the discs, they get stuck, so the discs don't insert and eject properly, and they don't play properly, and they crash, or they say there's an error, and it's not the discs, it's to do with the console, and bits of like broken on some of the plastics and stuff now. I have a PS3 that works absolutely fine. One of the controllers has a broken analog stick, and the analog stick will automatically move by itself. So if you're in a game and there's like a character, it'll automatically move the camera view of the game. So if you're playing something like Grand Theft Auto, it will the analog stick will basically automatically make your camera look down at the floor, and then you can't move back up from the floor. And if you're playing something like Minecraft, you're like your camera view will just move and move, and then you can't do or play anything with it. So I don't really play it that much. And then I have a PS2, believe it or not, and that works, but there's some wires that are missing to plug it in through moving house. I think like the AV leads or something are missing to plug it in, and I don't even think my current telly even takes AV. That's like how new the telly is. And yeah, apart from that, they're the only consoles I've got. And yeah, basically, yeah. So I only play them like once in a blue moon. So if ever you play PS4, fancy playing Pug. Yeah, I've heard it's free. I mean, the last time I properly played online, Fortnite was just starting to get massive. It wasn't massive, but it was starting to get massive. It was on the rise. That was basically what the score was. Yeah, it was starting to get big, but it wasn't big, and basically that was that was when I sort of last played it properly and stuff like that. And then, like I say, I've been on it since, but I've only really played it offline, so I couldn't really tell you how it works now. But there we go. So back to the renovation that will be coming. So stay peeled for further updates pending when I know a little bit more and stuff like that. Keep an eye out for the food challenge. That's going to get recorded tomorrow. I'm not the one recording it, so I don't know when it will go up. I don't know when it will get edited. It could just be something that we record and then it doesn't get posted for weeks on end. And believe you and me, that can happen quite a lot. Myself and the layman were very busy people. So, once we've recorded that tomorrow, 101 things can happen. So, Layman will be editing it, but Wednesday the Layman goes into commercial radio, and he has 101 other things that goes on in his life. So he probably won't edit it for a little while, and then he'll decide a date that we're going to push it out, and then no one will know that we've recorded it tomorrow, apart from people who might have watched this stream. But like in hindsight, like we'll just record it, and then whenever somebody watches it, they'll think it was just recorded quite recent or something. Who knows? But anyway, make sure to like, make sure to comment, share. We'll see you soon.